My God, I hate cliffhangers. I hate them so much. I really, really hate cliffhangers. 2 fucking weeks in a row. aldnoah.zero. 2 weeks in a row. No, that's dirty, man. That is dirty. That is fucking dirty. You do not cliffhanger me 2 damn weeks in a row, let alone what you did this episode. Okay. Ending. Fucking ending. Slain. He's finally going to participate in this war. It looks like he's finally got some luck. He's not getting bitch slapped constantly for the course of this series. I mean, he finally gets a little bit of a break in this episode. For instance, you have Zosbon, hopefully I said his name right, shoot off the handcuffs of Slain and gives him an aldnoah. An aldnoah from the count that was killed like 3 episodes ago. Still pissed off about that. I'm really pissed off because with the ending of this, with that, the mech, the freaking Cutterflat being there, power down, it means that the Count is dead. He is confirmed dead. One does not simply kill off Eisen's voice actor and live, okay? Zosbon is going to fucking die, okay? I'm just going to say it right now. So Slain has a big decision to make at the end. For instance, he has to decide if he wants to participate in the war against the Martians, or is he going to join Zosbon's army and help him out, destroy the Terrans. That's exactly what choices Slain is left with at the end of this episode. The big thing that happens this episode, like right at the end, that really pisses me off and makes me hate this cliffhanger, is because now, Zosbon controls the moon base. The moon base is controlled by him, and so he controls all the traffic coming from Earth. For instance, all the calls to, the Martians from Earth saying, the princess is alive, don't kill us, she states the truth. Well, we find out that the moon base also has similar feelings towards the princess and wants to kill her off. And so, you have everybody else, all the orbital knights that, actually do want to support the princess, they won't be able to hear it. They won't be able to hear that incoming call of what the princess did at the ending of this episode. And so, yeah, you have the ending of the floating fucking castle launching down at Russia at the United Nations base. And, yeah, the ending, man. This series kills me. It kills me slowly inside. I mean, every time I hear that ending song, like, dun 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 dun, pop up and all that, I know for a fact the episode's ending. But I love that song. I love that song so much. But, of course, every time that song pops up, guess what? Cliffhanger! Episode done! And that's what happens. If you did not know, actually, I found out about probably 4 or 5 days ago that there is going to be a Season 2 of aldnoah.zero. So, yeah, that's information for all of you Chibits that did not know there was going to be a Season 2 of aldnoah.zero. A bunch of you Chibits actually told me about that, gave me some links, gave me some information, articles about it. And pretty much, if I am correct, and I got the dates right, the Season 2 of aldnoah.zero is going to be playing on the winter season. For instance, this upcoming fall season, right after the fall season, winter season will be here, and aldnoah.zero's Season 2 will air then. So, yeah, expect a Season 2, and so for there to be a Season 2 announced already, it's going to be a cliffhanger. I want to call it now. I want to call it right now. The ending of aldnoah.zero Season 1 is going to end on a colossal cliffhanger that makes me just want to slap myself or something. I don't know, because I sense it. The cliffhangers have already been really bad in this series, and with there being a Season 2 already announced, and pretty much this means this is just going to be the halfway point, yeah, expect a colossal cliffhanger. That's going to piss a lot of us off. So anyways, besides that, okay, the overall middle section of this episode, the beginning part of this episode, or actually, let's talk about the beginning part, okay? The princess, the first princess, is alive. Now, last week, we were left on a cliffhanger with the princess being strangled. We saw her being strangled, right? Strangled her to death, and she went down. And we find out in this episode, specifically right at the beginning before the opening song played, that the life force of the princess is directly connected to the aldnoah drive. So, I was correct. The life force is connected to the aldnoah, and so, for instance, if the princess does die, the aldnoahs that she's connected to powers down. So this comes to the table after I was thinking about that for a couple of minutes. If the princess you know, if she dies, her life force disappears, and the Aldnoahs that she's connected to powers down, what happens if the king, the father, the main king of the Martians, the princess's father, dies? Think about that for a second. If the main king dies, all those Aldnoah drives, for instance, all the floating castles, the cataphracts, and all sorts of other machines that they probably have will collapse to the ground. And so, I think that this entire scene with the princess, the way it was shown, was actually foreshadowing to what will happen in the future to the father, for instance, the king of the Martians, because if he does die, everybody that has Aldnoah is fucked. And so, yeah, I'm just going to say that now. I think that's exactly what that scene from last episode, in the beginning part of this episode, was really trying to emphasize. But another thing, too, I did not actually go further into last week, and I guess I do want to go into it now. Riot. I hate her. I just don't want to be honest. I dislike her character so much. She is a really awful freaking character. I mean, she did not clearly think anything through last week. She didn't, okay? She wanted to kill the princess because she was accepted. That's what we find out in this episode. She was accepted, the princess was, because even though she was a Martian, and who she was. But Riot technically wasn't. Her own people turned against her and killed her. And she said in this episode she was on neither side. She was not a Terran, she was not a Martian. She was pretty much like this, you know, freelancer, the middle ground. And her entire motive, honestly, felt rather weak, because she did not think it through when she killed the princess. Because if the princess dies, you pretty much fuck everybody over on Earth, and at the exact same time, you're screwing your own self over because you're gonna die. Same old, same old. I mean, pretty much, Riot did not think it through with what she did to the princess last week, and I just want to state that now. So, her character really just degraded in points in my eyes. I'm just gonna be honest right now. She really degraded in points, and she definitely needs to get out of here. Okay? She needs to get out of here. Unless she does some really great freaking redemption episodes that redeems her character, that's the only way that I'm probably gonna like her character. Because, seriously, after, you know, what happened last episode, in the beginning of this episode, I don't like her motive, and I don't like what she actually did. Now, the middle of this episode, okay? The middle of the episode, I like the different setups going on. For instance, Humere. You know, the Humere that died because of our post-traumatic stress disorder, Marito, that, you know, killed his friend, okay? Pretty much, you know, he has this entire, I guess, you know, trauma last week's episode, you know, recorded by the doctor, and the doctor gives over that entire experience over to the captain of the ship, and she actually gets to see Marito's, you know, pain, his tragedy, his stress, and stuff like that. And so, since she technically did blame, you know, Marito for killing her brother, she might understand now what he did, and she might actually feel bad and sympathize with him because of what he had to do. And I think, like, because of the entire bit going on here, she might actually come to respect Marito now after what he did. But another thing I do want to say about that entire scene is, the entire subplot with that building up since the very beginning, pretty much, it's going to have a major, major role in the future. Let me explain why, okay? They're building up the entire Zajbom, you know, background since these past couple episodes. So, like, last episode, they built it up a little bit. We found out why he wanted to assassinate the princess, because his wife was sent down and died because of Heaven's Fall, and because of the orders of the, you know, the royal palace, the nobles, you know, the first king and stuff. And so, we understand his entire objective of why he's doing what he's doing. And if you think about it, the only person that technically saw the death of Zajbom's wife was Marito. So, Marito and Zajbom are going to have some form of collide or connection later on. For instance, I mean, Marito is going to want to kill the person that technically killed his friend, because even though he shot his friend and killed his friend, the person that was, you know, Zajbom's wife pretty much forced him to do that. And so, I'm guessing to get his revenge, he might go after Zajbom and kill him off. That's exactly what I see happening later on in the course of this series, because it seems like the way they're building up these subplots in the background with these two, it seems like they're going to have a collide later on. Probably not this season, but most likely next season, because that's the way it's being built up, and there's just too much connection between these two characters that seem to just be no coincidence at all. Now, Slain. What will Slain do? What is his objective? What will he do from this point onward? Because now that, you know, the princess technically is alive, and I made a theory last week saying that the princess did die, Slain most likely would have helped out, you know, the people that wanted to kill the princess. So, Since the princess is alive and Slane doesn't know it, what will he do? Will he join the forces of the Terrans? Will he join the forces of the people that want to kill the princess? What will he do? Or will he become a middle ground person that's on neither side? A lot of questions, and, you know, we'll have to see what happens, honestly, because this series is getting freaking epic, it's getting freaking good, and I just love it so much. So tell me your thoughts about this episode of aldnoah.zero, everybody. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.